Before we begin, please press the like button and the subscribe button. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we are tackling a seriously dangerous corporate taboo. We're talking about cybersecurity silence. Today, we are unpacking the architecture of transparency, breaking down exactly why organizations instinctively hide their tech risks, and more importantly, how we can flip the script to fix this before a total disaster strikes. So let's just dive right into this. Be honest for a second. Does your team talk openly about cybersecurity risks? For a vast majority of businesses, the honest answer is sadly no way. We're going to look at exactly why businesses struggle so much with internal communication around sensitive tech risks. Because look, cybersecurity, it's not just an IT department problem anymore. Everyone across the entire organization needs to treat this as a shared responsibility. Section 1, the cybersecurity taboo and the 5 reasons we stay silent. From the newest entry-level intern all the way up to the C-suite, security is a shared responsibility, yet it remains incredibly uncomfortable for us to discuss. These 5 very relatable reasons perfectly explain why your team might actually be hiding mistakes instead of reporting them. We've got fear, lack of awareness, overconfidence in tech, perceived complexity, and time pressures. Let's break these down one by one and see if any of these are happening in your workplace right now. First up is the fear of repercussions. Honestly, employees are often just utterly terrified that highlighting a network weakness or admitting they accidentally clicked a bad link will lead directly to them getting blamed or facing disciplinary action. And when fear is the driving force in an office, silence just becomes the default survival tactic. Number 2 is a lack of awareness. Without proper, ongoing training, team members simply don't realize how their daily, seemingly mundane actions impact the entire company's regulatory compliance. They end up adopting this highly dangerous mindset that cybersecurity is just, someone else's job. Third, we've got overconfidence in technology. Businesses today rely way too heavily on their security software. We operate under this false assumption that it's completely infallible. But here is the hard truth. Software has blind spots. Human vigilance is absolutely irreplaceable when it comes to spotting early, subtle threats that a program might just totally miss. Fourth, and I see this all the time, is perceived complexity. Look, let's be real. Modern cybersecurity is drowning in overwhelming jargon. It's like a foreign language. When a strategy feels too technical or dense, human nature dictates that people will just avoid discussing the topic entirely so they don't look foolish. And finally, reason number 5, time pressures. In the modern business world, every single second counts, right? When intense deadlines are breathing down your team's neck, taking the time to report a weird, slightly suspicious phishing email feels like a massive distraction. It drops to the bottom of the priority list. The tragic irony, of course, is that neglecting that one simple email can cost the company massively down the line. Moving on to Section 2, the ripple effect and why openness helps everyone. Because modern organizations do not exist in a vacuum. We have highly connected digital systems and supply chains that overlap constantly. So when one company stays silent about a vulnerability, it creates a dangerous ripple effect across the entire industry. Look no further than 2023 and the devastating MoveIt transfer data breach for a prime example of what happens when a vulnerability isn't contained and just spirals totally out of control. That single localized flaw essentially kicked the front door wide open for cybercriminals to access sensitive data across a staggering thousands of interconnected organizations. Thousands. Because of shared digital supply chains, one single weak link compromised everyone else who was attached to it. It spread like wildfire. And the human cost was massive. We are talking about impacts on millions of individuals worldwide. It proves exactly why shared knowledge, transparency, and early warnings are absolutely critical for our collective digital survival. When you hide a breach, you aren't just hurting yourself. You are literally exposing everyone connected to you. Section 3, total transparency and boosting organizational security. So how do we actually fix this and boost our risk management before it's too late? Well, we need a core shift in culture. Think about the difference here. A culture of fear breeds silence, rampant speculation, and eventually total panic. On the flip side, a culture of transparency empowers people to speak up early, building credibility and immense trust. We absolutely must destroy the culture of fear where people worry about career-ending consequences and actively build an environment where they feel safe flagging issues the second they see them. To get to that culture of transparency, here is your rapid-fire action plan. These are 3 steps you can and should implement immediately. Create an incident response strategy, practice strategic breach disclosure, and invest in threat detection. Step 1. Create an incident response strategy focused heavily on psychological safety. You have got to remove the fear of legal trouble or losing a job. If your team is terrified, they're going to hide their mistakes. But when they know they won't face career-ending consequences for honest errors, they are far more likely to actually speak up about potential security incidents early. And that is exactly what you want. Step 2. Treat breach disclosure as a strategic move. If the absolute worst happens, you need to share relevant details promptly with your stakeholders. Doing so builds credibility, strengthens your team's response capabilities, and drastically reduces panic. Remember, silence only damages trust and invites wild, damaging speculation. Don't let rumors write your narrative. Step 3. Invest in threat detection and prevention tools. You can't fix what you can't see, right? Combat this lack of visibility by adopting AI and machine learning tools that give you real-time insights and actionable data. These tools are a real game changer because they cut right through the daily digital noise and make it much easier to spot vulnerabilities before they turn into full-blown crises. The absolute crucial takeaway here is that effective communication is critical in modern cybersecurity. It's the whole foundation. You must start building trust and resilience within your teams right now, today. Cyber threats aren't going anywhere. In fact, they're only going to become more and more sophisticated as time goes on. So I'll leave you with a massive question to chew on today. Is your workplace culture actually protecting your data, or is it just burying your vulnerabilities? Take a hard, honest look at how your team handles mistakes. Thanks so much for joining this explainer. I really hope you found these insights valuable. Keep those communication lines open and stay secure.